Welcome to my test setup videos. I'm going to do some short little videos that just talks us through every single little step. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk you through what's on the table and what you'll have during a setup. Now the first thing I've got is my equipment table. This is all a big jumbled mess at the moment. This is how you'll get it. Nothing will be where it should be. It'll be your job to do that. So on this table I have the following things. I have my drum pad, just here. I've got my MIDI brain here. I've got my standard keyboard and mouse for typing and clicking. I've got my MIDI controller keyboard just here. I've got my audio interface. I've got a pair of monitor speakers. And I've got my Mac. And that's all the equipment that you have. The harder part perhaps is the cables. Now I've sorted these into little groups. You will be getting it in a big messy pile. It'll be your job to sort that out as well. So first up we've got a pair of MIDI cables, two. We know they're MIDI cables because they have circular ends with, I don't know if that's focusing particularly well, let's click on that, with 5 pins inside. So you get two of those, two MIDI cables. You also get two USB cables. This is USB A to USB B. Now you have a grey cable which is slightly shorter. Tend to use that one for the audio interface, and then we've got a white one that I tend to use for the keyboard. Sorry, the MIDI controller keyboard. We then move on to these. These are jack to XLR cables. They're for our speakers. A pair of those, so two of those. And then I've got two sets of XLR cables in order to extend these to make them a bit longer. So there's one, and then I've got a black one just there. And remember, we'll use those to signify left and right. Red is right, and left is black. Now this black XLR cable is slightly shorter than the red one, but that doesn't matter, and you shouldn't let that throw you in the setup. It's how it's supposed to be, it's fine. And then I've got two jack-to-jack cables, the kind you'd use for a guitar or something like that. Again, these look different from one another, but they do exactly the same, so it doesn't matter if these get mixed up at all. They'll serve their function no matter what you decide to do with them. Finally, cables-wise, I've got 3 kettle leads for power. Just to show both ends. We should be all fine with this by now, though. That's a kettle lead, plug to a 3-pin DIN plug. I've got 2 black ones, they're for our speakers. I've got a white one for my Mac. And then the final power cable I've got is the one with the little transformer box there. Plug on this end, DC in on that end, and that is for our MIDI brain. Okay, so that's all of our equipment. The last thing which I will leave plugged in for you and set up is our 4-way adapter. That's going to sit on a chair behind the setup, all neat, so we've got no trailing cables. And that's going to be all the equipment.